welcome to the Movie Scouse 007 Keyboard Road Warrior series. At the end of the last journey, we'd reached Bremen, and we had levelled up and got ourselves a skill point to apply. So before we go anywhere else, let's do that. As I talked about, I'm going to fill up this ADR bar. It's nice and easy to do. It gets us nice valuable jobs which earn us money. I was planning on levelling up each of these one at a time, but I think I'm actually going to, when we get to these, I'm going to level them up in a sort of a balanced way. With each getting 1, then 2, and then 3, and so forth. But we're going to level up the ADR. It earns us a lot of money at the beginning. It's not very effective later on in the game, so we might as well make the most of it now. So we're going to add class 3 flammable liquids to our pool of cargo that we can carry. So we've applied that. So we're now class 3. Okay, and next we're going to go and select a job. So let's go and get some money. So currently we are we're in Bremen. We have driven the Mercedes, we've driven the Scania, we've driven a Renault, and we've driven a Volvo. So let's try an IVECO. Let's try the IVECO Stralis Active Space Super. So we're going to take some car parts from Bremen to Aalborg in Denmark. So we're going back up north. So let's take that job. And let's get trucking. So in the last video we talked about coffee, and we talked about the behaviour of companies. Ooh, we have mail. Let's quickly check what our mail is. Oh, and that's our lorry. Oh, the bank is offering us money. Look at that, our credit limit's being raised to £400,000. So, yep, 320, 400. So we can borrow, we can do that combo. Not sure what that will do. So, as previously stated, I'm going to try and get it up to 30,000. We're at 17.5 at the moment, so we're very close to what I want before we start borrowing money. And also, I want to carry on doing the quick jobs until we have driven all of the trucks, apart from, in addition to the Volvo that we're going to drive. So let's turn the lights on. We are at the depot now. We've got our load behind us. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, so hopefully when we deliver this it'll be daytime. I can't remember how we get out of this one. Yeah, we turn right. So let's turn right. Let's escape this depot. Do it slowly. Oh no, do you know what? We don't turn right. We turn left. And we go round. Mistakes were made, but it's all good. It's all good. So, the IVECO. What do we reckon? Can't really see the cab in this light. We'll do an analysis of the cab. In terms of performance, it feels okay. So, let's pull forward and make sure we don't clatter the wall. And the pillars, and then we'll turn right here. We're stuttering a little bit, that's not good. So, let's get on to the highway and get on our way. Actually, do you know what I'm going to do? There's a discovery point. If you look at the map, let's look at the map. There's two discovery points. One of these is going to be a dealership, and the other is going to be a recruitment agent. Yeah, I'm going to go around and then back and then up and then rejoin the road that we're required. The reason I'm doing this is because those recruitment agencies are going to be really helpful later on. It's when you're starting your trucking empire, you need to have as large a pool of agents to draw from as is possible, because it gives you access to better drivers. Okay. This is an appalling view. This is an appalling view that we've got. And I don't know whether that's because the windows are tinted on this IVECO, but if they are, that's awful. Alright, so we're going to turn left here. So let's make that move. Let's turn left and discover the two and log the two discoveries. Let's get into the left-hand lane because we're going to be turning left around about here. Today on the news, sadly, there was two weather-induced major accidents which have involved vehicles that we are all keen on, lorries, and it's made me a bit upset. Do you know what? I've gone the wrong way. That's annoying. I've made an error. Damn it. I will have to pull a Yui because I want that discoverable. Let's go out while that's traffic's slowed down. Yeah, we wanted to go down the other road. We have discovered this recruitment agent. That's good. That's good. Let's pull a Yui in the recruitment agent's entrance. See if we can do that. And then we won't have to waste too much time. And we're on the pavement, which is not good. But we've done it. We've done it without hitting anything, which is the important thing. And I think the dealership might be what, DAF? Is that DAF? I think that's a DAF. Indeed, it is DAF. Right, so we're back on track. Let's get our favourite city level of map. We're way too far away from the... And we'll wait for that red sheen to go yellow, and there it is. So, we're going back into Denmark, having gone to a Danish city already. We've been to Esbjerg, which was the first European city that the mainland European city that we visited in this particular playthrough. Yes, in Belgium there was a horrifying crash in awful weather conditions. None of it at the moment has been attributed to driving of truck drivers, but the trouble is, when any vehicle gets hit by a lorry, it ends up causing a lot of damage to the other vehicle. I mean, understandably, the lorry is a huge vehicle, and it's got a lot of momentum and a lot of weight behind it. And there was also quite a bad crash in China, which is always sad to see. I worry about China. It's a rapidly developing country. I wouldn't call it third world anymore, but that said, its development has been accelerated at a rate that we couldn't have fathomed in Europe. I mean, if you look at a photograph of Shanghai 25 years ago and a photograph of Shanghai today, you wouldn't recognise them as the same place. The only thing familiar is the river that runs through Shanghai. Everything else is so completely different. It's beyond comprehension. And they are developing incredibly rapidly, and I wonder if that they are sacrificing safety for the pace of development. I understand, although don't quote me because I'm not 100% certain, but I am led to believe that a Chinese building site is possibly the most dangerous place in the world to work. That's sad. It's a shame that they can't be more. They can't build more like they do in Hong Kong. I find the way they construct in Hong Kong an incredibly bizarre dichotomy. The most modern buildings you can imagine, surrounded by bamboo scaffolding. It's amazing. And I don't say bamboo scaffolding as a scoff. Apparently, bamboo is stronger and more flexible a substance than we really give it credit for. Yes, I do worry about the pace that China's developing. That sounds terribly patronising. White male, European. I'm not poor because I understand actually that if you've got more than £2,000 in your bank account, you are actually in the top 15% of the population in terms of wealth. That's horrifying. That so much of the population is in what we would call the poverty, is in the bracket of poverty, the vast majority of these people have to feed and clothe their family on less than £4 a week, and that's not £4 that we have. That's the equivalent of what would be £4 for us. That's horrifying. It's difficult to know what we're supposed to do about that. It's one of those statistics that's a little bit overwhelming. I mean, where the heck do I start? What am I supposed to do about this? Is this even my problem? I am, from my point of view, that the best you can do is do your little bit, and encourage your friends and family to do their little bit, and then just try and create a small ripple, and hope that small ripple becomes a tidal wave of help. See, that's a really stretched and horrible metaphor. There are a bunch of ways you can do that. Volunteering at a local level. There's all sorts of. I don't know which way I'm supposed to go, and I've gone the wrong way. I have gone the wrong way. Let's check the map, see how we can rescue ourselves from this. I'm not sure there's a way I can get out of this. That's annoying. Oh, no. I can go through Hamburg. That's cool. I'll go through Hamburg. Then we'll discover Hamburg. You can also go to places like Amnesty, Oxfam, Save the Children, and another fantastic way of helping people in the developing world is a website called Kiva.com. You can loan. It's done in American dollars, which is fair enough. It's an American website. You don't loan money to a person in the developing world in order to help them get on in life, and then they pay you back. One of my favourite video bloggers, the Green brothers, John and Hank Green, they heavily promote Kiva, and they are regular donators to Kiva. I say donators, They are micro financiers. You will be, if you take part in Kiva, you become a microfinancier. You loan a small amount, like $25, and so far the Green Brothers have got a 99% repayment rate. 99, and these are guys that have been doing this for 7 years. They've been regularly microfinancing small business owners in places all over Africa and Asia and Eastern Europe. Apparently, Madagascar and Sri Lanka are quite popular. I think my memory might be failing me, but it's for all sorts of things. Small business owners that need to replenish stock, or they need to refurbish their store so that they can. Then, oh no, we missed it. We missed Hamburg. Oh, that's annoying, because I'm not concentrating. I'm talking to you guys, which is the reason I'm here, so I can't be too angry about that. I think it's a fantastic organisation. Periodically, they offer the first loan that you make is on Kiva, so they will fund the $25 for you to start you in your career as a microfinancier, in the hope that you will feel so good about the process that you will do it again and again and again. I think it's a brilliant idea. And you're helping people get on their own feet. You're not giving people food. You're teaching them to fish, so that they can. You're not giving them a fish to eat. You're teaching them to fish so they can feed themselves. Yeah, another tired old cliche metaphor. I am a great believer in helping people get on their own 2 feet, rather than doing it for them. That said, sometimes you have to start somewhere. What I'm not a great believer in is condemning people because they can't get on their own 2 feet. And I think there's a lot of people in this world, particularly in the more wealthy Western nations, who believe that people are poor because they're stupid or lazy. I don't know. I think that's a dangerous thought process to endorse. Most people who are in poverty are born into poverty. I wouldn't call that laziness. I would call that circumstances. And once you're in a situation that's like that, it's very difficult to get out of that. Right, are we going to crash into anything? No, we're not. But this has turned into a very depressing playthrough. Oh, I knew he would do that. This is the AI in this game. This is the one thing that really needs to be addressed, and I was hoping we were promised that that this would be addressed in the 1.8 update. It's not going to be. They want to play test it more. If it means they get it right, then so be it. But I was kind of hoping that the AI would get a kick in the seat of the pants. They do stuff like that all the time. They pull out in front of you where there's no gap, and then they slow right down, causing you to brake. And then as soon as you've braked and lost all your momentum, they shoot off like a bullet from a gun. It's frustrating. So this cab. Oh, do you know what? I'm not a big fan of this cab. I'm seeing it in the cold light of day, and it's reminding me somewhat of the Fisher-Price, my first truck nature of the Renault. The horrible-looking plastics. I think it's remarkable that they can bring out the awful nature of the plastic. The cheap-looking nature of the plastic in the IVECO and the Renault. I'm going to go and check out IVECO cabs just to double check, but I seem to remember that they did look pretty plasticky. I don't like the layout of the dials. That looks horrible. I mean, I can understand the shape. The shape is so that it fits into your in the gap in your steering wheel. It doesn't have to, though. It really doesn't have to look like that. I don't like the extended buttons that sort of come out of the top of the instrument binnacle like panda ears. That's all a bit cartoony. I like the fact that the pillar isn't very obtrusive. Obviously you lose space because of the mirrors, but the mirrors are nice and large. You get plenty of view on that left hand. Obviously, because I don't have Track IR or Oculus Rift, I've got to make do with the in-game mirror, and that's fine. That's just the compromise you have to live with if you haven't got the fancy expensive tools, and believe me, they're expensive. The Oculus Rift, which is the 3D sorry, not 3D, the 360-degree virtual reality goggles. They are about £300 for a first-generation developer's kit, and which is 720p, not even 1080. I think early next year they're going to come out with the 1080p developer kit, and they're hoping to come out with the consumer version in 2014. Probably autumn 2014, fall for American viewers. I probably won't. I've been sort of put off the Oculus Rift slightly for this game, primarily because I have discovered that the menus are almost impossible to read in the Rift. Which is really sad. It was going to be my preferred option. I would love to try it out, but I don't know where I would be able to do that. It's not the sort of thing that is going to be at your local electronics boutique or game or Best Buy or HMV, or and you certainly can't try them on Amazon. So I don't know. At the moment, I'm kind of looking at the Track IR. I was looking at the Track IR with the clip, with the headphone clip. But I've since discovered that the headphone clip is extraordinarily flimsy. It's supposed to clip to the headband of your headphones, and to the side, just above one of your ears, on the left. Actually, it's supposed to sit above the left earpiece on your headphone. But the trouble is, the clip is so fragile and so cheap, and that actually there's if you go on YouTube and put in broken Track IR clip, Pro Clip, you'll find dozens of videos of people bemoaning how fragile this thing is. And in fact, one of the YouTubers that I follow that does a full HD G27 playthrough of this game, to Squirrel's Nuts, has had to repair his quite a few times. So I'll probably end up going with the device, which is much cheaper actually. It's the same sender device. Basically, you have a little thing that clips to the top of your monitor, and it sends out an infrared signal, and then based on 3 position points by your head, it determines the angle of your head, where you're looking, up, down, left, right, rotation, etc. It determines all of that information based on the signal that it receives in return. The expensive one, the Pro Clip, actually has lights that shine. So it's 3 lights in a sort of a line with one of the lights slightly offset. and they're illuminated. The idea being that it's easier for the tracker to pick that up in a dark room. So if you like to play at night and you prefer to play with the lights off, with the traditional track IR, it has trouble seeing. Ooh, blimey, that was my fault, completely my fault. It has trouble seeing the normal version because there's no illumination involved in the normal version. So, but there are also issues with that lit one, in that the light actually sits inside a recess in the Pro Clip, and so if you turn your head enough, the track IR sender loses sight of the Pro Clip. The cheaper version, which is what I'll probably end up going for, is actually a spring-loaded clip that clips onto a baseball cap. It clips onto the peak of your baseball cap, and it runs along the peak to your head, and then 3 prongs sit up, and they've got very reflective strips that sit in an offset line horizontally. If you imagine the high-vis jet bibs that people wear on roads or on plainside airports, they're very high-vis reflective stuff that you see on police high-vis bibs. That sort of reflective silver material, and those work like a dream. It means you have to wear a cap, which some people on YouTube have bemoaned. I'm not that bothered. I would rather save the money and have something that's reliable than go with something that's expensive. And the clip on the baseball cap clip thing, you get a spare one in the pack. Now with the Pro Clip, you get the Pro Clip and you get a couple of spares of the baseball cap thing as well. But just until they improve the quality of the Pro Clip, I'm not that fussed. The other thing is, it's an extra wire going down the back of your neck, an extra USB. Actually, no, it's not an extra USB. What am I talking about? It's got a female USB thing, so you can actually you plug it in, and then you can plug something into the plug. It's sort of it's an extender, as it were. But still, it's an extra cable down the back of your head, and I was kind of wanting to go with when I get back to the UK, go with Astro A40s, which are a wireless headset. So then to go from a wireless headset and to have see, that's why I missed Hamburg. I didn't have the right view. Oh, hello, we've got another city. What city is that? Colding. I've never heard of Colding. Shall we visit Colding? How are we off for time? Let's slow down and let's visit our... So we've got 15 hours. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. 15 hours, it's going to take us to... Yeah, let's go to Colding. Let's expand our knowledge of the available map. Yeah, so to go for a wireless headset and then to lumber myself with a Pro Clip thing that requires a cable just kind of smacks of stupidity. So I'm not sure at all, but we'll see. And we've discovered Colding, so let's see if we can find any discoverables in Colding. And there's I can see a question mark. Is that a recruitment agency or is that a truck dealership? I've see the thing that I'm not as interested in finding truck dealerships because I've got a big truck dealership in London, so I can visit that anytime and get my Volvos. But I am very interested in the recruitment agencies, because the recruitment agencies allow me to expand the number of drivers that I can potentially hire. So, oh, how have I missed that? Is there another recruitment agency? No. Okay. So I go forward, and I go to the end of the road, and then I turn right. That's cool. So yes, I am somewhat composing my dream kit with you guys while I'm playing on my less than dream kit. But that's fine. I'm having a tremendous amount of fun playing this game. My hope is that the purchase of the better computer will further enhance my enjoyment of the game. That's my hope. So, but yes, Astro A40s, very expensive. But if you're playing, I anticipate that my sessions playing this game will get longer. I'm already on my private profile. I'm already driving for 3-4 hours at a time. Whereas on this profile, I think the longest journey we've done together is an hour. So a decent pair of headphones is for me going to be an absolute must. If it's a dealership. Is that Volvo? That's a Volvo dealership. We've discovered a Volvo dealership. Oh well, it extends our Volvo reach. There's nothing wrong with that. So yes, the Astro A40 headset. Although, mind you, that said, there might be a superior version. We'll see. But the Astro A class has a good reputation, as far as I can tell. Oh, darn it! That's torn it. That's upsetting. We missed the opportunity. So let's have a quick look at this cab. So there's no dashboard light to tell you that you've got your parking brake on. That's bizarre. There's the switch. This is plasticky. This is not for me. Okay. And we're at another red light. So yeah, this is just. I mean, the steering wheel's all right. The gearbox is a bit ugly. The seats, it's all a bit. It's all a bit nah. I mean, I don't hate it. I don't particularly like it. As I've previously said, though, performance-wise, I'm not noticing much difference between this and the Renault or the Mercedes. So if this takes your fancy, don't be put off by my comments. If you like this interior and you don't find it a little bit plasticky, don't worry, because the performance on this doesn't seem to be any worse than the other two vehicles that I've tried. Obviously, we were a little bit spoiled in our first drive by the FH16, because that had a huge 750 brake horsepower engine. I had my beautiful cab mod enabled. We were a little spoiled on that particular journey. Right, we're now back on our way to deliver these goods. We're back on our way. Now that we've had a sidestep, we've discovered an additional city. So that adds to the number of destinations that we can choose to go from, which never hurts. We've expanded our discoverables, which also works for us. Always expanding our network. Having discovered coping, we can put a garage in there later on in the game. And the object of this exercise is to discover as much of the map as is possible. We are, as you may remember if you watched the setup video, we're running with the official Going East DLC, which added not just the FH16 2014, but also added a whole chunk of Eastern Europe, cities in Hungary, Slovakia, the Czech Republic and Poland. We're also running with the awesome Scandinavian mod from ProMods, and it is one of their cities that we are going to go to. Essentially, the map stopped at the bottom of Denmark, and you couldn't go any further, so that meant nothing in Sweden, nothing in Norway, and absolutely nothing in Finland. That said, the ProMod only adds Turku and Helsinki, but that's two cities in Finland that we didn't have without the ProMod, so I think that's fantastic. Okay, so we're an hour and 55 minutes from our destination. We have spent a good chunk of our time discovering Coping. I hope I'm pronouncing that. I've got a horrible feeling that might be pronounced Kirping. We'll see. I will have a look on the internet and discover exactly how that's supposed to be pronounced. Actually, I did promise to check out another pronunciation in the last video, and I never got round to it. Never mind. We will get round to that at some point. So, we were talking about ProMods. I'm quite excited to see what the guys from ProMods come up with next. Obviously, there are just a handful of guys, and it took them, according to them, it took them 8 months to make the Scandinavian mod. I personally would love to see. I need to get in the other lane. I personally need to see France, Italy completed. I would love to see them go to Ireland. Both the Republic and Northern Ireland, and Spain and Portugal. But I think what would be particularly exciting would be to see Russia. Now, I have seen a lot of Russian dashcam videos. Oh, it's going to start raining. Let's get the wipers on. I've seen a lot of Russian dashcam videos, and they do somewhat remind me of the Eastern European addition to this game. But I would love to be able to visit cities like Moscow, St. Petersburg, Volgograd. Is it Volgograd? I think Stalingrad, which got renamed after the evil fascist dictator Stalin died, and the Russian people threw off the yoke of communism. Briefly, they seem to have re-embraced it. Vladimir Putin seems to be running a communist state under the guise of a democratic one, which is depressing. But I would love to go to Archangel, which is a fantastic city at the top of Russia. It's there on their Baltic coastline. It's one of the few places where they can have their navy. So I'd love to see sort of giant warships in the distance, and I'd also like to visit Odessa, which I know because I'm a bit of a film ponce, and I love black and white films. And there's a film called Battleship Potemkin, which features an incredibly famous sequence where a pram goes down a series of steps. And Brian De Palma essentially ripped that sequence off for his film The Untouchables. So when Kevin Costner's at the top of the stairs at the railway station, I think it's supposed to be. I don't know what the main station is in Chicago. I think it's supposed to be Chicago. That sequence is lifted directly from a turn of the century, 20th century film called Battleship Potemkin, which was a silent black and white movie, a silent Russian black and white movie. So yeah, I'd love to see Odessa, I'd love to see Moscow, St. Petersburg, whatever Stalingrad became, an Archangel. But there are a whole bunch of, I mean, Russia is huge. I would love to see them go in that direction. And then the modding community is doing its bit. There's a Romanian map. I personally haven't tried it. To be honest, I'm enjoying my private part profile quite a bit, and the journeys at that stage that I'm in my career, I'm level 23 in my private career. The journeys are taking me 3 or 4 hours at a time, and so I didn't really have time. In addition to that, and filming these videos, I don't have time to try another profile and keep trying trial maps. There is another map pack called TSM, which adds southern France, a bit of Spain, and North Africa. But it doesn't work with ProMods, and I'm with the Scandinavian map, and I'm not prepared to give up the ProMods map because I love it too much. I love getting on a ferry and going to Norway or Finland, or I love driving up Denmark. I like driving around Sweden. There is a place I would love to visit in Sweden. I'd love it if they could put that city in. It's called Ystad. I'm not sure many of you will have read the books, but there's a Swedish writer called Mankell. If you're British, you might know this writer's work because the main character is a police detective called Wallender, and the BBC we've discovered Aalborg. The BBC did. Oh no! I've swiped over a road sign. That is not good driving. The BBC adapted the books for Kenneth Branagh to play Wallender, and I absolutely love that series, and inspired me to read the books. I've read all of the books, and I find them absolutely fascinating. It's difficult to know whether I'm getting the true writer's intention, the true writer's feel, because I'm reading translations, and I think it's 2 or 3 different translators that are doing them. I don't get a tremendous sense of difference between the different translators, and I don't know whether that's a good sign or not, or whether they just pick 2 translators who have a similar style. But I'm very unlikely to learn Swedish in my lifetime, and so the best I can do is read a translated version. But I love the books, and also the BBC have extra digital. We've got BBC One and BBC Two, which are the standard BBC channels that used to get on terrestrial television before television went all digital in the United Kingdom. When they went digital, they added BBC Three and BBC Four. Now they were niche channels. They were standard definition. When the big analog switch off happened in the UK, BBC Three and BBC Four remained standard definition, while BBC One and BBC Two used to share 2 HD channels. Now the BBC have rather sensibly decided that what they should do. I don't know where I'm supposed to go with this. Let's quickly magnify that. Let's go in here. They've rather sensibly decided they had BBC HD and BBC One. Oh, there we go. They had BBC HD and BBC One HD, which was always a mite confusing. They've decided to rectify that situation. Because the analog switch off happened, there's now extra bandwidth for the television signal, which is fantastic, because what it's meant is that there's additional bandwidth for them to put BBC Three and BBC Four on HD. So they've renamed the 4 channels, the 4 HD channels, and oh no, that's not good. We need now we've got the standard definition channels, but we've also got all 4 of the BBC TV channels have got HD. Anyway, the reason I'm going into all of this is that Wallender was on BBC 4. Oh, no. This is not going to be my finest parking. Wallender was initially broadcast on BBC 4 as a piece of quality drama, as in, you know, it's going to have a limited audience. We're not going to give up our main channels for a niche programme. Oh, darn it, I am not doing this very well. I am completely the wrong side, I think, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out a little bit. But now that they've given all 4 channels their own sort of HD equivalent, they can just schedule the programmes at the same time. What this does mean is there's going to be a change in the way they broadcast on the HD channels. What we used to find was BBC One HD used to mostly broadcast the stuff that was already being broadcast on the standard definition channel, and BBC HD used to do a sort of a catch-up service. Now that's not going to happen anymore. Come on, go backwards. Oh no, I think I'm bumping against something now. Oh, where am I? Oh no. I cannot get this to rotate. I don't know what the control is for rotating this, but yeah, no. Let's go. Okay, sorry about that. Yet again, my camera has crapped up. You missed the tail end of the parking. You can see from the 45XP that I did actually park it rather than hitting T and letting the computer do it. But also there was a little nasty surprise waiting for me. We got a satisfactory, because somewhere on that journey we did some damage. I got a horrible feeling it was during that parking. I think we clattered into a couple of the trailers. It didn't give us a warning that we'd got damage, but I've got a feeling that's where it is. So we drove 586 kilometres. It took 9 hours and 12 minutes of game time. We consumed 289.8 litres of fuel. We got a base reward of £5,737 and a proficiency bonus of £258, which we needed because that 6% damage penalty cost us £639. It's the same with the experience, 587 XP. An XP point for every kilometre, a bonus of 45 XP for the parking, which has helped us because we lost 66 XP for that 6% of damage. So our total reward was £5,355 and 566 XP. A quick look at the 66 XP we lost, and you can see we would not have got level 4 with that 66 XP. So it hasn't cost us a level up on this video. It is, however, still annoying. So that was Bremen to Aalborg. We will carry on in the next video. We'll pick another destination to drive from Aalborg to, and we will almost certainly level up to level 4, which gives us another skill point to allocate, and gives us another part of the map to explore, and another vehicle to drive. We're going to go for a different vehicle this time. So far we've driven the Volvo FH16, we moved on to the Renault Premier, we then jumped into the Mercedes Actros. We've now driven an IVECO Stralis, so that leaves us with DAF, and what else does that leave us with? I think there's a different IVECO. I think there's 2 DAFs. I think there's a different Volvo, but we won't bother with that one because we will almost certainly only be able to afford the base level Volvo when we get going. So I think we'll try and find a DAF to drive in our next video, but that all depends on what Aalborg offers us. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you've got any comments or suggestions, any questions, any advice, because I've only been playing this game for 2 months, there may be people who've more experience in this game watching this video. I don't know why you'd be watching this video if you've got more experience, but if you've got advice, or if you're a real truck driver and I am driving like a lunatic, please don't shout at me, but give us some advice. That would be much appreciated. But anyway, if you could subscribe, like and rate this video, that would help me to carry on making these videos, if that's alright with you. Anyway, until the next time, see you on the road.